Have you ever thought about how something as simple as a kettle completely transformed the way we enjoy hot drinks? From brewing tea to preparing coffee, and even indulging in a warm cup of cocoa, the kettle has been a quiet but essential companion in our kitchens for centuries. In this video, we're diving deep into its story, tracing its evolution, and exploring how the kettle revolutionized our hot drinks culture. Welcome to the History of Simple Things, where we delve into the fascinating history behind the little things that shape our world. The origins of the kettle can be traced back thousands of years to ancient civilizations. Early versions of kettles weren't made for brewing tea or coffee. Instead, they were more about boiling water for cooking or sanitation purposes. The first kettles were crafted from durable materials like iron and bronze. They were heavy, cumbersome, and needed to be heated over an open flame. But as human societies progressed, so did our relationship with water and fire. By the 17th and 18th centuries, kettles began to take on a more recognizable form. Crafted from copper or cast iron, these kettles were still basic by today's standards, but they symbolized the growing importance of hot drinks in daily life. The rising popularity of tea in Britain and other parts of the world played a huge role in the kettle's transformation. Speaking of tea, let's pause for a moment to appreciate its impact on the kettle's evolution. When tea was introduced to Europe in the 1600s, it wasn't just a drink, it was a cultural phenomenon. The ritual of tea preparation demanded precision, and that's where the kettle came in. Before electric kettles, people relied on stovetop models to boil water. These kettles weren't just tools, they were works of art. Designers began crafting ornate kettles to match the elegance of tea sets. The kettle became a centerpiece of the table, signaling hospitality and refinement. This association between kettles and tea wasn't limited to Europe. In Asia, where tea has been a staple for millennia, kettles were just as important. Japanese cast iron kettles, known as tetsubin, are still cherished today for their beauty and functionality. As the kettle cemented its role in tea culture, coffee was also starting to make waves. By the 18th century, coffee houses were popping up across Europe and the Middle East, and kettles became just as essential for coffee brewing. While tea required boiling water, coffee brewing demanded precise control over water temperature and flow. This led to innovations in kettle design, such as the gooseneck spout. Gooseneck kettles, with their slender, curved spouts, allowed for better control during the pour-over brewing process. This design remains a favorite among coffee enthusiasts today. Fast forward to the 20th century, and we see one of the most significant breakthroughs in kettle technology, the electric kettle. Invented in the early 1900s, the first electric kettles were far from perfect. They were bulky, slow, and prone to overheating, but innovation didn't stop there. In 1922, the British company Swan introduced the first electric kettle with an automatic shutoff feature. This was a game-changer. No longer did you have to worry about forgetting your kettle on the stove and risking a kitchen disaster. One of the reasons kettles have been so revolutionary is their efficiency. Traditional stovetop kettles took a long time to heat water because they relied on transferring heat from the flame to the metal and then to the water. Electric kettles, on the other hand, use a heating element that sits directly in contact with the water. This drastically reduces boiling time. As we become more conscious of our environmental impact, the kettle has adapted to meet modern demands. Electric kettles are generally more energy efficient than stovetop ones because they heat water faster and lose less heat to the surrounding air. Some companies have gone a step further, designing kettles with eco-friendly materials and energy-saving features like insulation to keep water hot for longer. These innovations make the kettle not only a tool for convenience, but also a step toward a more sustainable lifestyle. The kettle's influence extends far beyond the kitchen. It has become a cultural icon in many parts of the world. In Britain, the phrase, "put the kettle on," is synonymous with taking a break or having a chat with friends and family. It's a simple gesture that brings people together. In Asia, the kettle plays a central role in traditional tea ceremonies, symbolizing mindfulness and respect. Even in modern coffee culture, the gooseneck kettle is a badge of honor for baristas and coffee aficionados. The kettle has also inspired artists and designers, leading to collaborations that blur the line between functionality and art. From sleek minimalist designs to vintage-inspired pieces, the kettle continues to evolve, reflecting the tastes and values of each generation. So, what's next for the humble kettle? When you think about it, the kettle has been quietly shaping our hot drink habits for centuries. It has evolved from a simple pot over an open flame to a high-tech gadget that brings precision and convenience to our lives. But beyond the technology, the kettle is about moments of connection, relaxation, and indulgence. It's there when we need comfort on a cold day, when we share stories over a cup of tea, or when we take a moment to ourselves with a perfectly brewed coffee. So next time you boil the kettle, take a second to appreciate this unassuming yet revolutionary tool. It's more than just a kitchen appliance. It's a symbol of how something simple can profoundly impact our daily lives. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'd love to hear your ideas, and who knows, your suggestion might just be the topic of our next episode. We'll be sure to give you a shout-out for your contribution. What's your favorite hot drink to make with your kettle? Until next time, stay cozy and keep the kettle on. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.